session on Moore machine. Learning outcome. At the end of this session, the students will get knowledge about the Moore machines. The students will also be able to design Moore machines. So before going towards what is Moore machine, we will take an overview about the finite automata. The finite automata or the finite state machines is divided into two types: finite automata with output and finite automata without output. In the finite automata with output category, we are having the Moore machine and the Mealy machine, whereas in finite automata without output we are having DFA, that is the deterministic finite automata, NFA, that is non-deterministic finite automata, and epsilon NFA, that is non-deterministic finite automata with null or epsilon transitions. Going towards finite automata with output. So finite automata like DFA and NFA have a limited capability of either accepting a string or rejecting a string from a given language. Finite automata can also be used as an output device. So such machines do not have any final state or more than one final states. Such machines generates an output on every input. The value of the output is a function of the current state and the current input. So under this category we are having the Moore machine and the Mealy machine. So Moore machine. A Moore machine M is defined as a set M of 6 elements. The first is Q, that is the finite set of states. Sigma is the finite set of the input alphabet. Delta is the finite set of output alphabet. Then we are having the transition function, that is from sigma cross Q towards Q, that is the finite set of states. Then we are having the output function lambda from set of states, that is Q, to set of output alphabet. Q0 is nothing but the initial state that belongs to the set of finite states. A sample Moore machine is given here. So here we can define the set of states, that is Q, as Q0, Q1, Q2. That is, we can see in the machine there are 3 states available. Next is the alphabet. So here the alphabet is having 2 input symbols, 0 and 1. Then your output alphabet is also having 2 symbols, A and B. So if we look at the state diagram of the Moore machine, we can see that whatever output alphabets are there, they are written inside the state, whereas the input alphabet is written on the transition or the arrow which takes us from one state to the another state. So that is the important thing that we have to keep in mind while designing the Moore machines. The output alphabets are written inside the states, whereas the input alphabets are written on the arrows or on the transitions. Now writing the state transition function for the Moore machine. So here we are having 2 input symbols, 0 and 1. They are written horizontally, and vertically we are representing the 3 states, Q0, Q1 and Q2. Now if 0 input is given to the Q0 state, it is coming to the same state Q0. If 1 input is given to Q0 state, it is moving towards Q1. So that completes our first row. In the next row we are having for the state Q1. If 0 input is given to the Q1 state, it is moving towards the Q2 state. If 1 input is given to the Q1 state, it is going towards the Q0 state. Next, for the Q2 state, if 0 input is given, it is going to the Q0 state, whereas if 1 input is given to the Q2 state, it is going to the Q1 state. So state transition function gives us that if any input is given to the state, to which state it is transiting. Next we are having the output function. In the output function we are going to map the states to what output it is having. So if you take a look at the state diagram, in the Q0 state we are having the output as A. For Q1 state we are having the output as B, and in the Q2 state we are having the output as B. So that is our output function. Now next we are going to draw the state table depicting both the transition and the output behavior of the Moore machine. So here we are having the states, then the input symbol 0 and 1, and for each states we are mapping it to the output. So this table is the combination of the transition function as well as the output function. So for the state Q0, if 0 input is given, it is transiting to Q0 state. If 1 input is given, it is moving towards the Q1 state, and the output at Q0 state is A. In the second row, for Q1 state, if 0 input is given to Q1 state, it is going towards Q2 state. If 1 input is given to Q1 state, it is going to Q0 state, and the output at the Q1 state is B. For the third state Q2, if 0 input is given, it is going towards the Q0 state. If 1 input is given, it is going to Q1 state, and the output at the Q2 state is B. Now what will be the output of the Moore machine after passing the string 0010? So the students can pause the video and think about the question for a few minutes. Now initially the machine is in Q0 state. You can see here the machine is in the Q0 state in the first state. So that is why the output there is A. Next, after passing the first input 0, the machine remains in the same state Q0 and the output is again A. After passing the next symbol, that is the second 0, the machine again remains in the same state and the output at Q0 state is A. After passing the third symbol, that is 1, the machine goes to Q1 state and the output is B. After passing the next input 0, the machine goes to Q2 state and the output at the Q2 state is B. So the output of the Moore machine in this case will be AAABB. So what we can see from this is that the string which we have passed consists of 4 elements 0, 0, 1, 0, and the output of Moore machine that we are getting is of 5 elements triple A and double B. So if your string has length n, the output of the Moore machine will always be n plus 1. The next example, design the Moore machine for the ones complement of a binary number. So we know that for a binary number, if we want to take ones complement, if 0 is given as the input, 1 should be the output. If 1 is given as the input, 0 should be the output. Here we have designed two states Q0 and Q1. If one input is given to Q0, the output should be 0. So if one input is given, the machine is reaching to Q0 state where output is 0. If 0 input is given to Q0 state, it is reaching Q1 state where the output is 1. Again at Q1 state, if 0 input is given, it is reaching to Q1 only because the output at Q1 is 1. And if 1 input is given to Q1, it is reaching to Q0 state where the output is 0. So in this way we have designed the Moore machine. Here our states, that is Q is Q0 and Q1. The alphabet is having symbol 0 and 1, and the output is also having symbol 0 and 1. Now state transition function for the Moore machine and the output function. So state transition function, again we are having two input symbols 0 and 1 with the states Q0 and Q1, and we are mapping them according to the transitions. In the output functions, we are depicting for which state which output is there, and the output is written inside the state. So next is drawing the state table depicting both transition and the output behavior. So this is the combination of the transition table as well as the output table. So for the state Q0, if 0 input is given, it is going to Q1 state. If 1 input is given, it is going to Q0 state, and the output at Q0 state is 0. Next, for Q1 state, if 0 input is given, it is going to Q1 state. If 1 input is given, it is reaching Q0 state, and the output at Q1 state is 1. Now initially the machine is in Q0 state where the output is 0. If 0 is given as an input, it will reach Q1 where the output is 1, as the complement of 0 is 1. Next, for if 1 is given as input to Q0, it will remain in the state Q0 only, because output of Q0 is 0. If 1 is given as input to Q1, it will reach Q0 where output is 0, as complement of 1 is 0. Basically, we have designed this for taking the complement of binary number. If 0 is given as input to Q1, it will remain in the state Q1 only, because the output of Q1 is 1. Thank you.